Hey there, Libra. Welcome to your reading for the next 3 months, June through December 2025, of course, and quarter three. But you start with this card that says, "You are worthy." It says, "You are worth it all, my love." You have this disappointment is not the end card. It says there's hope even in the darkest of nights. I feel like you're coming off of it, like some sort of disappointment intuitively, and like a long-term disappointment here, Libra. So again, I feel like this is actually a good, not bad message, because it's like you're finally moving forward and you're finally maybe. It's like I don't think life is perfect for anyone right now, but I feel that a lot of you could be getting closer to things that you actually want in life, which of course is a good thing, Libra. I think that there is also this energy of like your beliefs being very important. A lot of people have had this like message of mindset being very important at this time. Like obviously if we think things are terrible and things suck and things are going to be miserable, then that's exactly what we're going to experience. If we think if we truly believe deep down inside that we deserve better, then we will. And so I feel that that card is saying like your beliefs are going to be very important. Even the Two of Pentacles, your very first card here, really in a lot of ways, Two of Pentacles can say this and that are true, right? The problem with the Two of Pentacles is that he is trying to do too much at once. He's juggling, he's spinning plates, he is kind of like trying to be too many things at once as well instead of focusing. Now, I don't always think that's a problem with the Two of Pentacles. And again, personally, I do look at the Two of Pentacles as a positive card. It definitely can be. But again, maybe he is kind of like thinking this and that. It's like maybe he's a little bit too focused on the negative and maybe he's not, focused enough on the positive, right? Because it can say this and that are true. So I feel like your focus is going to be very important with this card. Like what direction you focus on and what you focus on in general is going to be important with the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles can also say something is getting harder to ignore. Again, this is not like a traditional meaning of the card, but sometimes, he has these waves behind him and they start small and they get bigger as they go across the card. And so sometimes I feel the Two of Pentacles can just say that something in your life is kind of like building an energy, or maybe you keep paying attention to an idea that you really need to double down on. And that's exactly what I would do with the Two of Pentacles. Next, you have the Judgment card. Judgment can be like a wake-up call. A lot of people have been getting the Judgment card, I've noticed, in this set of readings. And, part of me is starting to wonder if it's that like Uranus is going into Gemini right at the beginning of July, basically. I think it's July 7th or whatever. And, the thing about that Uranus and Gemini is I do feel that Uranus is unpredictable, but I also feel that sometimes like that Uranus energy can bring in maybe some answers. Especially in Gemini, I think that it could be very electric, which is what I've said to other people. And, electricity, it's funny that on the bottom of the clarifying deck, you have the tower, right? And it's funny because, the tower has this lightning bolt hitting the top of the tower. Now, I consider these two cards together to be the most powerful combination in the tarot. I don't read bottom cards or anything like that. So I'm not saying, I'm not connecting these two in this reading. I'm just giving you an example. But I think that it could be very electric. I think there could be a lot of like aha moments for people over the next 3 months. And I would just pay attention to whatever those ideas are, because they could be leading you towards a new life, or they could be leading you towards something much better. You have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is like a quick success or a quick conclusion. So there could be some sort of quick success coming in for you. With the Two of Pentacles, just intuitively, I feel that some of you, it's like you're going to have to get comfortable with speed. Like if you're making a change, there might be a change that you feel like you're not ready for. Like I kind of feel that for a lot of people, where it's almost like we're being pushed into doing things that we kind of like don't necessarily feel 100% ready for, but we're never going to be 100% ready for them, for these things. Now, I'm not saying this is going to lead to massive discomfort, right? I'm just saying like this could be a little bit of discomfort. The example I think I've used in the past is like when I was younger, when I was like 2 years old, 3 years old, whatever, I remember my dad used to like try to make me talk to people, like trying to make me personable or whatever. I don't know. But I'm sure plenty of adults do this with their children. I'm not sure where they, you say like, say thank you to this person and all this other stuff. It's like, but I never wanted to do it, right? I never wanted to talk to anyone. So there you go. But what I would say is, it's like, I feel like that's what the universe is doing to you, Libra. It's like there are certain like little things, not nothing really big, nothing that's gonna hurt you or anything like that. But it's like the universe is trying to get you to do things that are maybe just a tiny little bit outside your comfort zone. And I think, but again, the progress that you can get from doing those things, it is amazing, right? With the Eight of Wands. So the Eight of Wands is like very quick forward movement. So, whatever you're feeling pushed to do, I would do it. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the Page of Cups. You have the Page of Cups twice, and the Page of Cups also shows up in the good stuff here at the end, which is great. Not really a love reading yet. That could change in a minute, of course, but the Two of Cups is like a perfect match coming in for you, or, it could be a perfect match. I kind of like, I don't really feel this is a big deal here, Libra. I feel like this is something where you're just like, it could be a person where you're like, sure, I'll just give him a chance. But I don't know. It might, it kind of might surprise you. But I also don't feel like love is a major focus for you right now, so whatever. Yes, are you kidding? With the Judgment card, you have the Three of Wands. Expanding past a comfort zone, literally, is exactly what the Three of Wands represents. So, to be bigger, we have to do bigger things, right? And that's kind of the message I get here with the Three of Wands, is that you really could be putting yourself out there in a big way. And this could be in any area of your life. I also do see travel. If you're traveling, I feel there could be a lot of benefits. I also feel like there could be an opportunity. It's kind of funny because, again, I do not trust psychic timing at all. The universe doesn't wear a watch. Things happen when they're supposed to happen, right? But I have December popping into my head for some of you, but it could be like by the month of December that some of you, like if you're looking for a job, I feel that some of you, obviously this isn't going to be for all of you, but you could be getting a job like far away. So some of you might be moving for a job between like now and December, or the end of the year basically, or you might get an opportunity between now and December. So if you're looking for a job, I would look for those types of opportunities. Could be very good. And again, obviously that's not going to be for all of you. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Ten of Swords. It's kind of popping into my head as a friend. Like some of you could be walking away from a group of friends or something like that. Now, I think a lot of people are doing this right now. Because it's a time of truth. We had this full moon in May in Scorpio, which was kind of like the beginning of us maybe really seeing the truth, although I think the truth has been being exposed for a very long freaking time. That is the whole point of Neptune and Pisces, which Neptune has been in Pisces for basically 14 years or something like that, and Neptune is about to retrograde back into Pisces. But, a lot of us could be just seeing these truths about people or situations in our life, and we are probably just moving forward. I feel like it's a good thing. I really don't think it's a bad thing. Personally, Ten of Swords to me can be a blessing in disguise, so definitely could be a blessing. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this great big love card. There you go. You have this Waking Lion card as well. Love it. I feel that a lot of you could be discovering something that you want to do. I always think of that saying. One of my favorite people of all time, Eric Thomas, hip-hop preacher, he says, real lions like to hunt, right? And it's like meaning that when you discover a purpose, or like when you have a purpose that you do, it's like you enjoy doing it, and it's like the thing that keeps you going. So I feel like a lot of you, Judgment definitely could be discovering some purpose, and this could be something that you really love as well. This card could represent love coming into your life, and I definitely feel there is a little bit of love here, but it is just a little bit so far. But I also think this could be something that is more, heart-based, like a passion. So you could be getting a job or, working on a career or whatever that's more passion-based, or, something that you really enjoy. You have the Fool, the Ten of Wands, and the Eight of Pentacles. The Fool is about taking a leap of faith in a direction. He has to take a leap of faith towards something. He also has to take the risk of looking like a fool. Some of it, part of the Fool is that people could be saying that if he takes this leap of faith, or if he, moves in this new direction, that he is a fool. And there could be a little bit of a fear, that he has, that other people that have been telling him not to do something are right. There could be a fear that, what they're saying is true, but really it's not. He has this tiny little sack on his back, and it basically, sometimes, not always, but sometimes I feel that tiny little sack says the person I'm reading for, you, is over-prepared. So I feel for a lot of you, if you're about to take a leap of faith, that you're actually over-prepared for this leap of faith. You're probably more than ready. He also has these mountains in the background of the card here. And those mountains are ice cap mountains, and he's been stuck for a little while. I never pay attention to those mountains, but for you, Libra, I do feel like you've been stuck for a little while, and it's like now you're kind of like moving forward. You have the Ten of Wands. It's like I get this like cloudiness on this card, and yes, I understand that's not what this card represents, but I get this, like I feel that the burdens, Ten of Wands can be carrying a heavy burden. I feel like the burden is really just like this cloudiness, not knowing what to do, or not knowing what direction to move in. And really, I feel like you do know what to do, and you just need to do it. And I know that's easier said than done, Libra, but I feel like there is something that you already know what to do, but you just have to like make that move. The good news is I feel like you're getting to the end of this like very long journey. I get this very much like this one thing after another type of energy, where it's like you felt like you're just never going to get ahead. But really, I feel like you are. So I wouldn't worry too much about that with the Ten of Wands. You have the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is straightforward, diligent work. So he is working on one thing. He is working on these 8 Pentacles, and he's putting the work in and making it happen. So I feel for a lot of you, this is like straightforward, diligent work that you're doing. I also feel that this could be material success on the horizon. Like I feel like I need to say to you, like in your next row, you have this Foresee card. In your last row, you have this Make Your Mark card and the Shooting Star card. Like really good cards. Sometimes I feel with the Eight of Pentacles that it's saying that there's work that you're doing right now that will pay off big time in the future. So it's like it is worth it to put in the work. Like I cannot tell you how many, like over the past couple of years I've been teaching YouTube, and I cannot tell you how many students I've had that it's kind of funny, but it's not really funny. I'm not laughing at them. I'm laughing with them, because I did this when I started YouTube. I had a channel before this channel, believe it or not, well over 10 years ago now. And unfortunately I deleted it. I wish I still had it, but it's kind of funny that sometimes these people they'll start working with me, and then they'll quit, right? And then like 7 months later, 6 months later, they'll have a video that they were working on that just blows up out of nowhere, and they always come back, and they're always like, oh my God, this happened. And I'm like, yeah, that's why you should have kept going, right? And so that's the thing with the Eight of Pentacles, is it's like we might not get the immediate result. We might not see the thing happen that we want to have happen like right away. But if we keep the momentum going, things will take off, and then we will get the benefits of all the work that we've done. And so I kind of feel the Eight of Pentacles is encouraging you, Libra, to keep working on whatever you're working on, especially even if you're not getting exactly the result you want. I feel like you're getting there. With the Fool, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles, like slow, steady progress moving forward. A lot of people have the Knight of Pentacles in this set of readings, which is interesting. But I kind of feel like it's more attached to like the July side of things, which is weird because we have Mercury retrograde in July. But one thing I will say is that Mercury retrograde can bring in a lot of progress, because we can be processing a lot of things from the past, and that could be helping us progress into the future, right? So, not necessarily a bad thing. I've said it before, some of my best months of my life have been Mercury retrograde months. So, this can be good for work and business and everything. Like you could be getting an answer that leads to a lot of progress. So, I think, but it is still kind of interesting to me that, basically everyone has been getting it. With the Ten of Wands, you have the Sun card. It's definitely like a choose yourself month. One of my favorite authors, James Altucher, right? He wrote a book called Choose Yourself. And I think the next 3 months for pretty much everyone, it would be a choose yourself time for whatever reason. I don't know what's going on, but I think that as long as we are making decisions from our own, our own center, our own heart, then I think things will go very well. And that's what I would do with the Sun. As long as we're choosing love, joy, happiness, peace with the Sun, I think things will go very well. And that's pretty much what I would do with that card. With the Eight of Pentacles, what do you know? You have the Ten of Wands. Yeah, we should be making things easier as well. It's like, I think we are all doing things the hard way. Or, it's like we need to not do things the hard way. I think it's time to stop fighting. as well, which is very interesting because number one, we have seen war in the world, right? And number two, we have all this energy moving into Aries. But sometimes I think we are meant to do the freaking opposite. You are the opposite of Aries. But I think everyone, obviously, war is terrible no matter what. So I think we are meant to not do that, of course, right? But on a personal level, I think that we should stop going to war with ourselves as well. And we should stop fighting against ourselves, right? And again, this could be very general for all of you. And, there could be a lot of ways that you need to stop doing this, like stop making things hard on yourself. And I'm not saying it's easy to do at all, right? But, kind of like doing the research and saying, like, how can I make things more simple would be a very good idea. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this empathy card. This could be about having more empathy for yourself. You have this 4C card, which can represent looking into the future or seeing into the future. So I think it would be an amazing time to kind of like, trust your intuition at this time and what you see for your future, but also having more empathy for yourself, like I said. You have the 5 of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, and the World. The 5 of Cups can represent regrets or sadness, but, really it's a card of seeing what you have, being grateful for it, and then you get this bridge in the castle. So I always say 5 of Cups has a very easy solution, which is gratitude. The other thing is that if you want love, he has 2 cups behind him here, and then you have the Page of Cups. So it's like literally letting go of something from the past, being grateful for what you have, could be the thing that brings something new into your life. You have the Queen of Pentacles. I don't know, you get this card with me almost as much as a 7 of Pentacles, which you don't have, of course, which is going to disappoint me if you don't get it, but whatever. Queen of Pentacles is a card of resourcefulness. I mean, part of me feels like you have had to be resourceful for a very long time, Libra, and so that kind of makes sense. I also feel like you could be literally increasing your resources, which would be great. And, you have the Wheel of Fortune right next to it, which would be a change in your fortunes, especially since it's showing up in the good stuff, which would also be great and would also be amazing. So I feel a lot of you could really be increasing your resources here. You have the World. The World can represent you reaching some sort of like new level in life. That's actually not what it represents, but that's what I'm getting intuitively for you, Libra, is that you're kind of like taking something to the next level. Really, the World is a card of an achievement. And, the other thing is that the World can kind of represent, completion. We in the major arcana, we go from the Fool to the World, and then we start all over again as a Fool. Whenever I see something like this right here, Fool to the World in the reading very quickly, to me this says that you could be making a lot of progress in a very short period of time. Like you could be making like 10 years of progress in 3 months, right? Over the next 3 months. And that's kind of popping into my head for you, Libra, that some of you could be making like a significant amount of progress in a very short period of time. And obviously that would be great. And I think this is true for a lot of people. I will say we are kind of like in a time of connecting the dots. So it's like, really, has this been a short period of time? Probably not. This has probably taken like 10 years or more. But, what's happened is you've learned over those 10 years, and it's like over the next 3 months, it's like maybe it's all connecting, So it's like, really, has it been that short? Probably not, but, it might seem like it to you. With the 5 of Cups, you have the 8 of Wands again, so quick success. This is a very chatty person. It popped into my head immediately. I feel like this is a very talkative, chatty person. I don't know. This might be one of those things where, I don't know. It's like you might, sit down somewhere and this person starts talking your ear off, but like not in a bad way. But, maybe they just start talking to you and then, maybe you fall in love, right? There you go. With the Queen of Pentacles, yes, you have the Page of Pentacles. Definitely a new person, for sure. Page of Pentacles is my card of a new person. Page of Cups, to me, is just a general admirer. I feel like this is the same person, but, they're just showing up as a new person, as a new admirer. With the World, you have the 7 of Wands. I actually am getting the words locking in. Like, I feel like you are locking something in here with the 7 of Wands. I'm not really getting 7 of Wands energy. I'm getting more of like a locked in energy, which you could say is kind of 7 of Wands, but not really. So I'm not sure what that means. It's like you could be really, driven at this time almost. I don't even think that's the right word. I think locked in is the right word. But, usually if you are driven, you are probably locked in to something, right? But you could really be making that like deep commitment to yourself or towards an accomplishment, something you're trying to accomplish with the world. So I don't know. I feel like this is very good though, Libra. You have the shooting star card. It says, what you've asked for is coming true. Your wish is about to manifest. There you go. You have this make your mark card. It says, stick to a decision and don't allow any outside forces to sway you. 7 of Wands, locked in, right? So it's like the more, really that make your mark card is saying the more locked in you are, the better. The more likely it is that you will accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish. So yeah, I feel pretty good about that, Libra. You have the Page of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Eight of Cups. The Page of Cups can represent an admirer, like I said, so there could be like a new admirer coming in for you here with the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups can also be a dream. So if you are wishing for something, or if you have had a dream that you're trying to manifest on Earth, this could be you doing whatever you can to bring it down to Earth. Again, he has that fish in that cup, and I always say we don't really know if that fish exists or not. Maybe it does, but maybe that fish is part of his imagination. It could be something he's dreaming about, but regardless, it is something that he needs to bring down to Earth. It is something that he needs to manifest here on Earth as well. You have the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune can represent a change in your fortunes. A lot of you, especially in the good stuff. Normally, I say with the Wheel of Fortune that the Wheel of Fortune is an action we have to take because it is. But when it shows up in the good stuff, it definitely can say that you are changing your fortunes at this time, or there is a rapid change in your fortunes with the Eight of Wands, which I definitely feel with that card. You have the Eight of Cups. It's like there's something about the truth in this reading. It's kind of funny as well because you don't really have any of my cards of truth, like the Ace of Swords, for example. But I just get this energy of like the truth. But it's like more, maybe it's more matter-of-fact energy where it's like I don't think you're being a jerk or anything like that. I just think you're being very matter-of-fact. It's like instead of like wasting time on anything really, I feel like you're just getting to the facts. It's like I feel like you're being more. It's like I don't even know what to frickin' say here, Libra. It's like maybe normally, like let's say you were dating a person, or you go on a date with a person. It's like, and let's say a person has a certain red flag. It's like maybe you would give the person a second or a third chance. It's like I feel like you're not doing that anymore, but like in a good way. It's like I think you're spotting things quicker. But I'm not just talking about love here. I'm talking about everything. It's like I think you're like spotting things much quicker, and instead of giving things chances that you shouldn't, I think it's almost like you're trusting your intuition. I think we have to be careful of that in life because we can be wrong, right? But at the same time, life is short, and that's what I always try to get people to realize. Is it's like. One time I remember in a reading I said that we shouldn't date avoidants, right? People who have avoidant personalities. And, someone left me some whole long-ass story about how they dated this avoidant who is a love of their life. I'm like, great. You are 1 in a million, okay? It's like, I'm not saying that avoidant people are bad. That's not what I'm saying when I say that. What I'm saying is life is freaking short. Go watch people who talk about avoidance and their horror stories of what they went through. It's not saying they're bad people. What it's saying is it's saying that you cannot save these people. You cannot save them, right? They have to save themselves. And so there are people who are, my whole point of saying this stuff is that there are people who are ready right now, whether you believe it or not, right? And you can find those people by doing the right things. And so, the Eight of Cups is about like not settling for a situation that's less than you deserve. And again, it's not a criticism. It's not saying people are bad, or, it's not saying that the job that isn't right is bad. It's just saying it's not right for you right now. There's something that is right for you right now that is better. And I feel like that Eight of Cups is saying don't settle. With the Page of Cups, you have the Page of Wands. So definitely love coming in for you. I feel like this person is like a good mix. I think they are just like I think they have a good personality, and I just get all that stuff popping into my head. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is being spoiled for choice, having a lot of options. A lot of dreamy energy this month. Could be the retrograde for sure, I think. And, the interesting thing about this retrograde is that it's happening in Leo, and we had Mars go retrograde in Leo. So, I don't know, but I just wonder what things could be coming up from, you're going to have to think back to like November till May of last year, like November of last year till May of this year. It's like, what were the big themes that you were dealing with? And especially, like, what were the more, nebulous themes that you were dealing with? What were the things that you couldn't quite grasp, that you couldn't quite grab onto, It could have been like a business idea that maybe you couldn't really crystallize it and maybe now would be the next 3 months could be an amazing time, especially from July 17th till August 12th when the retrograde ends. But we'll be in the shadow till the end of August. It might be a really good time for you to crystallize something, like an idea that you had over those 6 months, November to May. It could be an idea. It could be something you were thinking about. And again, it could be about anything. So, that's what I would be doing. That's probably what I will do during that time. And with the Eight of Cups, you have the Four of Wands. I'm telling you right now, there is something about this reading about you sticking up for yourself a little bit more. Like I said, people always take this the wrong way. But, I'm not saying you're being a jerk, right? I just think that you are more committed to what you want. The Four of Wands, of course, could be marriage. You cannot make this up. You literally have this December card. I literally said December in this reading. But anyway, again, I think that could be marriage. Sure, you could be meeting a person you're going to marry. But I also think this is saying you're more committed to yourself. You have this bridge card. It says successfully overcoming a problem. Yes. I think Ten of Swords is a blessing in disguise. You could be overcoming some issue. I literally got the word December somewhere over here in the beginning of the reading. And you have this quill card that says get back to basics. Yes, I think this is the best thing everyone can do this whole entire year. I literally said it in every single 2025 reading at the beginning of the year. That I was getting this message of just, keeping things simple. Really, the message I was getting was efficiency, right? So I think people need to be more efficient. And that's what they need to focus on. You have this flowers card. It says happiness on it. So, I would focus on happiness with the sun, doing things that bring happiness into your life. You have this fire card. It says strong emotion, passionate love or hate. So, obviously I would focus on love, the energy of love, and I would, move more in the direction of love. That will be better for you. You have this mice card. It says discord among family or friends. Yes, I think that, where was that card? You have this card that says stick to a decision and don't allow any outside forces to sway you. I think this is a big problem right now. We have this, I think people are worried about safety. And again, I don't think this is a bad thing. I don't think people are doing this for bad reasons, but it's like sometimes we come up with an idea and maybe a family member or a person you care about says, oh, don't do that. It's dangerous. But you have to remember is people cannot see themselves doing things sometimes. It's like I've had businesses. I started my first business cleaning fish tanks when I was 16 years old. I was very successful then. I started another business when I was a little bit older, and that business failed when I was 21, but I was ridiculously successful, if I can toot my own horn here, with that business. My grandfather, all the time, every time, I used to have lunch with him like every single week, right? I would drive up and have lunch with him, and all those years that I had a very successful business, making way more than he ever did in a year, in like a month, right? But even with that, he would say to me, like, when are you going to get a real job? I'm like, I literally make like 10 times more than you ever made in your entire life. I don't need a job, right? So it's like but he was coming from a place of like fear, right? Worried about security. And so, that's kind of what I feel for you here, Libra. It's like you have to realize that sometimes it's not that people are bad, they just can't see it, right? And that's it. You just need to listen to yourself about your own ideas, about what you want, right? So, interesting. This looks really good, Libra. I like this. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.